Alrighty, fellow boatineers, or buccaneers, or whatever you want to be called, people, guys and gals. We are ready to put the copper coat on here, okay? And you can see something's different between this epoxy primer and this other epoxy primer. And I don't know if it's just age that this has been on the boat longer, but this is shinier. And the hardener we used in this says hardener only. It doesn't say primer hardener. And on my paint it says white epoxy enamel hardener. It's specifically for the color white, and it's specifically for epoxy enamel. Before, my primer said epoxy primer hardener. Now the new stuff just says hardener. It's got a number by it. So I don't know if the hardener changed, because this is shinier. See, that's got a little more shine, and this is dull. See, this is a dull, like a flat, very flat color of gray. So I don't know what the difference is. This is also still a little bit wet. You can kind of put your finger into it a little bit. So we kind of like that, because this hasn't fully cured. And that's good with us, because when we apply the paint, our paint will chemically join with this, kind of melting this down, because it's still not 100% cured. So that may be good. This is got some texture to it, so hopefully that's enough texture. And we're just going to, we're not going to sand it, because the sanding takes all these little tips off, but it does put little grooves in. But we got a lot of, you can see the texture there. There's a lot of texture. I don't know if it's the kind of texture we need to grip things, but still, you know, when you're new at this job, you're experimenting. Everything is an experiment, or everything is a new experience. You kind of have to play it by ear, you know, and hope you're doing the right step. And the problem is, if you do the wrong step, you're going to find out, and it's not going to be pretty, because you got to redo stuff, and nobody likes to redo. Nobody likes a redo. So anyway, we're going to do right now. And we've got the copper here. We got copper oxide in this silver bag, which is like a blackish, copperish color. You can't really see the copper unless you put it on the clear plastic bag and kind of get a reflection. It'll reflect like a bronzish looking look. And we've got our epoxy enamel in here, right here. Well, I can't do all this with my hand in the phone. So anyway, you have to trust me. We got it, and we're ready to rock. All right, everybody. We got 7 spoons. Well, this is our epoxy enamel. We're doing the DIY copper coat. We got 7 spoons of pure copper, raw copper, unoxidized, and we have 7 spoons of oxidized copper oxide they call it. Okay, and there you can see the black is the copper oxide. It's really not, it looks black to the light, it doesn't reflect light, but the other one is goldish, you know, copper color, of course. And we're about to mix that in. We've already mixed the enamel, epoxy enamel, and the hardener in. Now we're going to mix all this in. What we're trying to achieve is a color of this shade, because this is a good mixture here, and that's how we kind of know whether we got it right or not. This is our mixing board here, where I mix various amounts, and when we got to this color, everything was kind of a consistency that if you put more, you start getting clumpy or something like that. So I think this might be right. We might add a little bit more, because that's more than 1/3 of a liter. That's about 1/2 of a liter, maybe a hair more of paint. So we're probably going to double what we put in there. But first I'm going to mix it Paradise out with my little drill mixer there, with the little welding rod, bent welding rod. Paradise out. Okay, folks, you may look at this board, and I showed you this before. This is the color board. This shows how much is mixed and what color it winds up being when it's mixed. So we've got this color here, which is looking like this color here, very light, just like so. We need to get down to this color here. See that? So we need to kind of double our amount, because that is about double this. So we need to, that's how I can tell what the mixture is when it's good, by the color chart there. So double the amount. We're going to put 7 more spoons of each into here, because this is about double the amount of paint. That was about 1/3 of a liter there. This is about well, maybe we'll put 3 times. I don't know. We'll see, but the color chart will tell us when we hit the right ratio. Right there, that darker gray. Paradise out. Okay, folks, we are mixing now. You'll see it kind of mixing. My wife's going to hold the camera. Get down here, so but don't get too close, because we don't want to splash on the lens. So you can see, going around and around and around. Round and round we go. It should be darkening up here. Kind of have to come up to the top to get it to kind of splash over what's laying on the top. Also get a little splash up on the side to wash that. Yeah, see, like that one got a good splash. This side here needs a good splash. To get all that down in there. Now it's darkening now. But still not dark. It's still not anywhere near as dark as that other was. So yeah, so we'll keep on adding more and more and more. You can see some of the copper, it comes up and it gets clumped up, and then that wand hits it and knocks it apart, and then you'll see a fresh little streak of copper, either oxide or copper raw. Copper show up. You can just see a streak there. There's a little streak right there. So you can, and there's a streak as we spin it. It comes in. So you can see it's still not mixed thoroughly yet. But it's just you just keep going until it's done. And again, this is not a high-speed drill. This is a low-speed drill, so that's the thing. You don't want high speed, because you'll be throwing paint all over the place. Okay. Let's get the color chart and take a look and see if we've gotten any darker. Are we any darker? A little bit. Problem is, the sun is going down, and we're kind of reflecting and stuff. So we're still, we're almost here. We're almost here. We're almost with this one here. Bring that up. See, we're almost here with that one. So we need to get to here. So we're still going to need another 3 spoons. I was guesstimating for a liter we need 21 spoons of each, so 42 spoons of copper in with a liter, roughly a liter of paint. And that's not a liter, but it's pretty close. I'm guessing that's pretty close to 1 liter. So we need about 7 more spoons. And again, we're trying to get that dark, and we're about here. Yeah, we're about here, I think. So here we go. Continue on. Paradise out. Okay, folks, we got the first layer of Coppercoat on, and what it looks like, I'm kind of pretty happy with this, is it looks like, when you get it in the sun, it looks like a metallic copper. I don't know if you can see that in the camera that well, but you get a copper, like a metallic copper look on it. It's really cool. It's like a bronzy flash to it. So we got a lot of copper in here. And I need some more here. I missed a spot. Give me your roller. Okay, so anyway, I gotta finish rolling this on. They're supposed to put thin coats on, honey. So we gotta be sure we're doing thin coats, and I usually put on thick coats, and that's kind of a problem here, because I loaded up with paint to get a good thick coat on. I'm picking up paint so I can do the rest. Okay. So I've got too much paint here, because I start here and I roll down, and that's my roller is loaded up, and it really dumps a lot there, and I missed a spot somewhere. Where did I say oh, right here. Yeah, that's a real obvious spot right there. And I just dropped a fuzz ball. See that little fuzz ball right there in the center of the camera, that black dot? That's fuzz off of this roller.
This one is.
Oh yeah, right there. There we go. So there's a few little spots where we missed. You can see the other color of
How about
epoxy
this here?
primer. I don't know if we got that part, but the problem is the sun's going down, and we're kind of in the shade over there. So some of this doesn't show up, but we're putting multiple coats on, 4 coats at least 4 coats of this on here because we want it thick and rich and chocolate. See that there? That was really thick. I have to roll that up. I have to roll that so I can get it off.
And there's no paint here.
Okay. I have to roll up that thick part so I can get the here, honey, get this fuzzball right there, right there under my, right there. See that little fuzzball? That's a little fur ball from these things, because they'll drop that lint. They'll drop some of their fur on the boat, because especially once the paint gets a little more tacky and you roll, like I'm rolling over where the thick epoxy paint is. See, like right here, we missed some spots, so I got to roll over that, but it's getting tacky. Oh, there's nothing at all on that right there, so I got rolled over that one. Not that good. There's still a little bit right there. I can add paint to this, just to the tip, the very tip here, that part, and get those corners and stuff where I might have not got a good roll. It's basically in the little cracks and nooks and nook and cranny things. Okay, but we really don't want to do it too much because it lifts the paint, and like I said before, it leaves these, these little spikes that stick up. And not that I mind that so much, because those are the spikes or things that the paint kind of gets its claws in and helps adhere on the boat. But I think we're done. Honey, check your side, make sure you got all the sides and in here.
Yeah,
and if you get it on the boat here, that's okay.
Yeah.
Get it on the boat here, I don't care. Just don't slop it on everywhere. Make sure the corners are done. Go over there and check
I
it.
already checked that, honey.
Yeah, I've heard that story. We'll see. But yeah, I like the way that this copper coat is looking here. Looking good. And this front of the boat here, this front of the bow, doesn't really get water. Well, actually, we got a water line to about here. And then gotta go straight back, about an 8-inch water line. I mean, algae line, where water eventually gets on it, waves and stuff like that. Keep it wet. So right now we're done. We're done with coat 1. We mixed, let's see, 7 times 5. We picked 70 spoons in about a liter. I'm going to call it 1 liter of epoxy enamel with 70 spoons, 35 spoons of the raw copper and 35 spoons of the copper oxide. And we got like a copper metallic paint on here. On the cars, what they use for the metallic is aluminum oxide. Or I'm sorry, aluminum, not oxide, because it would be dull and white. And so this is a copper, like a metallic copper look, and it looks cool. And that's what you want. You want the copper exposed, because when the creature tries to adhere to it, it's touching copper. It's not the paint. The copper is enveloped in the paint. The copper is actually sticking up through the paint and exposed. So when it will touch that, it knows that, whoa, that's not healthy for me, and it'll hopefully let go or die. Yeah, and this should shine up too, because this is epoxy primer, and it shined up on my color board over there. It shines up nicely. It looks like a gel coat. It looks like a gel coat. What it looks like on here after it's all said and done, and it's slick, feeling real smooth. But on my color board, you can actually see, if you look down, you can see like little stars. It's just like you look up in the sky at the stars in the sky and see the sparkles. Whenever it dried on my color board, you could see the sparkles of the copper protruding out of the epoxy enamel, and that was a joy to my brain to see that that much copper was exposed, because again, the shells have to touch copper. If they touch paint and they don't touch copper, I don't know if you can see that. You see that kind of a sheen right here on this edge here? That's a copper like sheen. I can see it in my eyes. I don't know how well this camera catches that copper color, but you've also seen those that paint that as you change angles, it changes colors. from like blue to green to maybe orange or red or purple or something. That's kind of what this does. As you look at it in the reflections of the sun, you can see it go gray to copper shimmer, and that's so cool. Really, really cool. So anyway, we're gonna let that one. It's about 20 minutes to get dry to the touch, and then we'll put a second coat on, and we'll just continue on probably until we use all this paint. We got the same amount of paint in there that we've used so far, so that should be at least 3 coats of what we just did. So 2 more coats with the paint we have here, and we got another gallon in the car, so we're not running out of paint and we're not running out of copper. We got 2 kilos of copper, 1 kilo of copper oxide, and 1 kilo of raw copper there. So, and in the online forums and stuff, they say it's 1 pound of copper per gallon of paint. Well, I don't think I'm even near that. So, I mean, I may be somewhat near that, but I'm not at that for sure. And we got nice looking copper sheen everywhere. So, I think they're overestimating. And one of them, of the forum guy, said if you put that much in there, your paint turns to mud. It's no longer paint. It's just a clumpy, mess of mud. So again, I think they're overstating the amount of copper you put in here. And I put 70 level, actually, not heaping, spoonfuls of copper, 35 of the oxide and 35 of the raw in here. And you don't see the oxide in there because it's black, but you definitely see the raw, which is a good idea to. I would have just bought raw if I had known it, but I wasn't sure how good the raw was, and it was more expensive than the oxide, and so I bought the oxide first, and then I went back and saw they somehow some other sells. It's on Shopee. One of the other shops that sells, one of the stores, I guess you want to call it, had the price equal to the oxide. So I said, well, I'm going to get that because that's got the copper sparkle like Coppercoat does. Coppercoat uses the raw. They don't use the oxide. Or they may have some oxide in it. I have no idea. But oxide is a stable form of copper. It won't oxidize anymore. It's done. It's like rust. Rust doesn't turn into something after it becomes rust. It's iron oxide, and it sits there in iron dust. So the raw copper will corrode and should turn green. Copper oxide normally is green. I don't know why that's black. Maybe it's a chemically created oxide. But that oxide also this is a pharmaceutical grade of oxide, and this is a cosmetic grade of oxide. They put that in cosmetics, and you can also put it in paints and stuff like that too, whatever you need to make sparkle. But copper, an overdose of copper, too much in your system can make you very ill. Weird problems. And too much iron can make you ill. Weird problem. Too much magnesium can make you ill. So all metals have a happy place there where you've got the right amount in you. So don't be rubbing copper on your skin thinking, oh, look at this, it sparkles. Just put it in your paint. They say to wear a certain grade of industrial contaminant type mask, particle masks, but I'm not throwing copper dust in the air. I spoon it out and slowly pour it in there, and it doesn't fly up in the air. I'm not operating in a fanned environment where stuff blows all over the place. So that's your safety tips for the day. Your fancy application. This fancy application is done, and we'll be back with more Paradise. We'll eventually, like I said, paint about an 8-inch stripe on the side of the boat with this when we flip it. And then we will also be painting the tops of those fins going down the side. All the sides from 10 inches maybe to meet all of that we painted so far, all the way around the boat, because that's where the algae and stuff goes. And we're going to do that on every hull. That hull and the big center hull over there. Paradise. Anything that stays in the ocean. And we'll also probably do these bamboo our bamboo things here. We got to paint them too. Didn't think about that. Those got to get the paint. So we'll clean those off, paint those, because that barnacles stick to those too. See, you can even see some on that one there. They're right on there. See them? See those shells right there? Yeah, they just stick on there because those are under the boat all the time when the boat is resting. When we go somewhere in the boat, we unclip the little carabiner clips and put them inside the hull, and then we, drive. And if we're going to park it and at low tide, it sets on those bamboo things instead of, and there's two. There's one in the front where it should be where this little fin ends here, and the next one starts. It should go. The rope should go between there and hang to that clip on the side, and another one back here. Probably put it at the very back now that we've got that extension on there. So put it right back there, and that keeps the bottom from setting on the ground, sliding and grinding all of our beautiful copper coat off. Ta-da! Paradise out.